Welcome everybody to BGST live from New York, where the Mets can't buy a win and the Giants just keep getting shit on. Thank you for joining us tonight. Fantastic day in sports for me, huh? That's great. But no, in all honesty, I want to let you guys know something. We are doing this show from location tonight. Tonight's a special. We are in my car. I got crap next to me, Z's in the back seat. We are outside my local GameStop, and we are causing some shit.
Oh yeah, hey yo, bitch, get an Xbox. What the fuck you doing?
Hey,
That box don't look green. That box don't look green.
That box isn't green. What the hell? We gotta harass kids, especially, dude, because we're bigger than them.
Yeah, they're gonna
tell them bitches that box ain't green, your eye gonna be black, bitch.
You better buy that ugly ass green box. That's what I'm talking about.
Man. We were just sitting in the car, passing some Ike and Mikes around back and forth, figuring out what we're gonna talk about tonight while we yell at people. But realistically, crap, what do we got to talk about tonight? We've got a good couple of hot subjects.
Oh man, we got that PS4 at 30 million. That's a good subject.
Ooh. That's a Teddy Ruxpin tale. But go ahead. What do we got? Is there any actual proof on this, or is this Yoshida just like yelling out numbers out of his window?
They're saying they shipped 29 point whatever it is. So they changed their tune from sold to.
There's no way. Listen, that's sad, man. You know what? I think this generation has brought out all the jackasses and some of the dumbest motherfuckers in the world. I've said numerous times again that Microsoft and Sony sell their inventory or their stock to Best Buy, Target, and every time I noticed, I just had a little bullshit ass mom and pop store, sold weed out the back. You name it, I did it. And I used to buy them for, they don't give you anything. You have to buy it. You know what I mean? For $180 or whatever. Fuck, I can make just from the PS2 for $200. I make about $1,500 or whatever. $15. I'm sorry. And you know what I mean? They sell their stuff, and they don't get paid twice. And we had Sony fans generation who know Sony sold 10 million to consumers, and Microsoft only shipped 10 million. Like, like they don't know when someone walks inside the store, and that's what they have the NPDs for. You know what I mean? Like that VG chart shit, none of that's not accurate at all. At all, you know what I mean? They don't have in these little remote countries in Indonesia some goddamn way they know a PS4 is being sold. Like, come on, you're killing me, man.
Well, I said it long way back before we got into the numbers we're at now when we were way back in the single digits. PlayStation 4 got the kickstart in Europe and Asia, and they were kind of all over the place. I think, what was it? Z, you got the numbers down before. I think it was 30 countries to like 13 or 45.
Right now, the numbers are.
What is it now?
In about 100 countries, regions, and the Xbox One is like in 44, 45, like that.
Now, personally, myself, you guys all know this, from Uncle Sam to Captain America, all I really give a shit is what's sold in America and the UK. And because realistically, that's all the companies care about. The 1,500 that are sold in Italy, nobody gives a shit. But don't get me wrong, it all does add up at the end of the day. So when somebody says, well, are you talking about actual money made? Absolutely. As far as Sony's concerned, good for them. Let's also remember that the PlayStation division's keeping the lights on over there. You know what I mean? It's not the Bravia TVs. So, I mean, let's just call a spade, as Z says. It is what it is.
Like the Bravia TVs, they donate to everyone. They give them to people, right? Like IGN.
IGN has 75 in one set.
Yeah.
Like Times Square in there. But like realistically, I don't think we're really that far behind in the States, and we're definitely not that far in the UK.
No. Like I said, you know what? Again, I think maybe it's the media because everything gets really over exaggerated, blown out of proportion, and a lot of stuff with Microsoft because I guess no one wants to brag about being in second, but a lot of it's these numbers are exaggerated. Like I said before, North America is the biggest market, the consumer of anything, you know what I mean? And if the PS4 is barely outselling the Xbox One here in North America, about 13,000, 4,000, 8,000, whatever, 7,500 one month, and they're selling way more consoles than they do in, the whole of Europe, you know what I mean?
That's right.
It's look like this. It's not even be damage control. Look like this, the 360, right? It's outsold the PS3 last generation. Aaron Greenberg confirmed this last Black Friday. The PS3 had corded passive a little bit, and the 360 had a huge boost for sales during their Black Friday and stuff last holiday season. And the 360 doesn't have a precedent in Japan. All it sold was in North America and in the UK. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm looking at them all the little charities they add up and stuff, but they call it Sony Land, but North America and the UK is really what counts. You know what I mean? And they can keep it close here. They might can even time here this holiday season. How much they sold about last year? Crap. How much?
Was that 800,000?
I thought it was 700,000. I mean, they can do that again this year. I mean, it's doing fine. You know what I mean?
Well, people assume that. I'm hearing an echo somewhere.
Yeah,
you guys hear that?
I do hear it.
Wait, let me see. Let me turn you guys down, maybe.
Let me just say this much: you can tell that what Z was just saying is very accurate, because Sony decided to sell in the States
today.
I
consider myself the luckiest man.
The echo's going
on the face of the earth. Okay, there we
No,
go.
but literally, Sony decided to sell in the States before they decided to sell in their own country. Now, we know the Japanese stick with the Japanese, but they're also they're money hungry. They know they're doing their own business, and they know that America counts first. We're the biggest consumer of their product. So they put their own country and their own people off till February 2015 or 2014, and had everybody in 2013 November all set up in states. And that just goes to show you something. That's why when I say personally, if you look at what ends up happening in this generation, and in the U.S. and UK, Microsoft is up, to me you win. I understand globally they may lose, but no offense, but let's just, a lot of the smaller third world countries and things like that are selling a lot of these, they don't care very much for the United States. They're going to back Japan.
Okay, the echo stopped finally.
Yeah.
That was annoying as hell. I know, you were the luckiest man.
I was.
Yeah, I think that it all comes down to what they're doing in America and in the UK. Other than that, I don't personally care as well. Like when Sony came out and started talking those numbers, right? They were basically saying we've got like a 70 to 90% lead in these different territories, but some of those territories don't sell a lot. Just combined, they don't. You know what I mean? So that can be very skewed.
800 units.
Yeah, like let's say they've only sold 40,000 units since the inception of the PS4. You know what I mean? That's not a lot, but they can sit there and claim 70%. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it makes it sound better than it actually is.
It's a fucking dog and wag and pony show, man.
Yeah.
We have 90% of the market over here in Kazakhstan. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bull rat.
I could say stuff, but I'd get accused of being racist if I said.
I'm just saying, though, man. Ding, 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 ding. What the fuck? I'm just saying, man.
Sony just likes to look good. They like to look good no matter what.
Sony's very good at over drama, making it seem like it's big and over the top than what it is. Like they really are crushing the competition. Yeah. And it's not like that, you know what I mean? Like, if it was like a situation with the Wii U, then, fine. But every month it's doom and gloom. Microsoft is going to get rid of the Xbox division. They're falling behind. They would never catch up to Sony. It's always these big headlines, and maybe for the month they may have lost by 9,000 here to the NPD. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, this shit's crazy. You know what I mean? I guess perception is everything, man.
At the end of the day, we're really talking about this is going to be. It's going to be, even if it's a separation of 10 million units by the end of this generation, is it really a failure? If Sony's at, let's say what was the PS4's actual figures at the end? Does anybody have the number?
I have no idea.
Did they say 29 million or ship? They just shipped 29 million?
I mean PS2, because they said they're on track. They're beating PS2 right now.
Oh, wasn't the PS2 like 100? Oh, at the same point? I have no idea at the same point.
No, not the same point. Total.
Oh, wasn't it like 150 or something?
So if they're on track to beat that, let's say they're at 160. I mean, they're not going to crush it by much more than that. Everything dwindles down. So they're at 160. Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. And Microsoft's at 130, 135, 140. Who the fuck at Microsoft is not going to smoke a Cuban that night? Like everybody,
it's like last generation. There were no losers.
There's no losers.
The most successful generation ever. You had the Wii selling about 100 million. The Xbox, Danny, 100 million.
Yeah.
the PS4 PS3 about 93 million, 92, whatever. There were no losers last generation.
No, not at all. I mean, it's literally like if you break down a winning lottery ticket, right? And all of a sudden the 4 of us are in, 5 people are in, and the one guy just wasn't really there at the end, and you're like, oh, dude, listen, we're all getting a cut of about 900,000, and you're only going to get about, it's about 690, 700. What is he? He don't give a shit. He didn't even put his dollar bill in. Just, Microsoft don't give a shit at the end of the day if they're 30 million short when they're at 130 and they're at 160. Or let's just shrink the numbers down, because realistically, I think we're talking more like 100 to 85 at the end of the day. Because last generation was a huge success as far as Microsoft's concerned. They're only at 92. So if the PS4 stuff, it's all. And by the way, all you ponies that are really excited, put your new straddles on that horse. Just hear me for a second. The numbers are big, but the numbers they're chilling out a little bit. They're not that big of a deal. You have a couple spikes one quarter as you get closer to the holiday. Microsoft is going to they're going to catch up. This is the next 3 months where Microsoft just really catches up. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it is what it is. To me, the sales thing is so boring to talk about. The NPD's and the NPD, as far as I'm concerned, it's lost a lot of weight. It's lost a lot of weight. It doesn't have that oomph anymore because the software sales of it mean nothing to me anymore. Because after EA put their numbers out of what they're selling digitally,
was it like 77% digital?
77% is digital. At this point, NPD, take your software department and fire them. You don't need them anymore.
You know what?
The hardcore guys out there.
Mooch, check it out though. I do know. Walmart, believe it or not, sells more consoles than goddamn GameStop. That's a big goddamn store.
Right.
They won't even participate in the NPD. They didn't even they hand over their numbers. So it's not as accurate as you think. It's not. And it's not me spinning it. It's not no damage to God's honest truth. NPD doesn't track digital sales, and that's really been huge this generation. So. So when we say, Forza didn't make the top 10 or crack the top 10, because like I said, they're literally about 60 people on my friends list have the goddamn game. I think I'm the only one that has it physically. You got it physical too, right?
Hell yeah.
I feel bad because of course, like I said, I always watch all your videos, so I watch everybody's videos and then some. And Z, I know you're doing your collection up again, which is great. But at the same time, you got to miss having some of these digitally, though, Z.
Oh, yeah, I do. I just don't have anything to look at, man. I'm not going for the gold like I was. I have a crazy collection. But just a little here and there, just something I can have. And I ain't got to have shit all in the basement like I would all up in the attic. And God, that's why I make my shit go on up in smoke. That shit had shit to burn on that motherfucker. I'm just little pieces here and there, just to have something to look at.
But look, here's the thing, though. Especially even if I was digital mostly, I have all the Halo games physical, man. Why wouldn't I buy that one physical? You know what I mean? Just in my opinion. That's just same thing with Forza, especially first party. I would always buy those physical.
Listen, not to go back to the same analogy again, but crap, whenever I think of you, I think of a buddy of mine, okay? He has these lucky numbers that he plays lotto every week. So what he does is, he says to me, and he's our age, he goes, I got to go every January 1st, and he goes, I pay for I put $52 down, and I let that number run for the New York Lotto because these are my numbers. And he goes, if I ever found out these numbers didn't hit and I forgot to go that week, something came up, I couldn't get there. And he goes, I'd kill myself if I didn't hit the lottery. So every single year he puts his $52, he puts his dollar down per week, plays his 52, he gets it, so he has every ticket for the year. Now hear me out. You're kind of in that bind, I think, crap, because you've gotten yourself in such a collector's situation that I understand you're in a bind with the internet, but even if we put you in primo spot, I don't blame you. You have such a wall of games at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like your back's again. You've almost stuck yourself in a corner where if you don't get the game, it eats at you a little bit. Which don't get me wrong. I don't blame you, and I think it's something to show because my little squares on the pins home doesn't contribute near. It doesn't matter how many games I get or how many hard drives I collect. With all those little pins, it doesn't equate to how great the factor is of all those games that you have.
It just feels to me like I don't own it if I don't have the physical thing. Okay, and going back to Microsoft's original vision, I love the.
Uh-oh. No, Crap's going in and out with technical difficulties.
Says, fuck you. Get his ass offline.
Z, what we should do is, Crap, do me a favor. You should have elevator music, so whenever you cut out, you can just just a little something. We'll be right. Thank you. No, go ahead, Crap. Finish your thought.
Oh,
so it's like Where was crap? I lost him
I
on
don't know.
that one
He was
there.
about Microsoft.
I didn't think I was coming back that time, guys. My computer. I need some of that $12,000 PC next gen. Rip off some of them parts.
Yeah,
You
let
got
him
it.
borrow that.
You got it. See no more.
Damn, man, this is bad. My PC is fucked.
Well, speaking of things that are fucked that are PC, let's talk about a couple of things that are going on in the gaming world. And I'll tell you right now, this has been I've just enjoyed reading article after article. So the Uncharted multiplayer is coming in at 900p. Speaking of power, and speaking of other power consoles, the
8
PlayStation.
maps.
We're also talking about No Man's Sky. At the last 2 functions have been on PC because the PS4 can't handle it. So this is what this all boils down to, and a lot of people always say, "Geez, you're an Xbox thing. Why are you talking about that?" Because all we ever do, generally, when we're not on BGST, is we're constantly fending off attacks from the ponies and the villagers.
We own, right? It's just
so,
like Groundhog Day, ain't it?
It is what it is. But like at the same time, how can you tell me that you have your flagship game, Uncharted4, coming out? And Neil Druckmann, and I don't mean to put words in his mouth. If it wasn't him, it was somebody from Naughty Dog that was higher up, or it was a senior exec that basically said they decided to go with peer-to-peer over dedicated servers because that extra money that they can't afford for dedicated servers. Okay, I'm paraphrasing here a little, but that's the truth of it. You can read into it. That would leave them more money to keep this thing up and running for years to come because of the cost savings. They could put that money somewhere else. Well, let me tell you something. You're selling 30 million consoles. It's your flagship IP, and you want me to be able to play. You're playing a game with somebody that may have the worst internet in the world, and all of a sudden my game is going to just suffer because of this. We're too far into 2015, going into 2016 in a few months, to have to worry about what Jimmy and Jane's internet speeds are. You know what I mean? I just want to play the game, and if you happen to get booted out, that's a you problem. But it shouldn't be a me problem. So, this is just from the top down a lack of thought. It's a lack of money. It's a lack of. I mean, there's nothing on the Sony platform that says next gen to me. It's not the UI. It's not. There's no dedicated servers on their own games, their own IPs. I don't see what people are so excited about. But yet every day there's just this huge fight and push, towards the PlayStation versus the Xbox. I don't even see where the competition begins.
You know what, though? I hate to sound like a broken record. I said it, and I say it again. Sony is looking to spend as little money as possible and to maximize their profit all across the board.
Yes.
That's why, like I said, if we're talking about games, AAA's, not that small shit, not those little indies, some $2 games they're going to save for $20. We're talking about the meat and the potato, the meat, you know what I mean? There's no way that Sony can compete with Microsoft. Look at all the AAAs that Microsoft have coming out next year, 2016. You know what I mean? This Quantum Break, boom.
Recore. Killer Instinct Season 3.
Forza Horizon 3. I mean, the list goes on, and then you have
Crackdown.
Nice.
Crackdown.
Down. Quantum Break. I mean, listen, it doesn't stop. And then what's funny is they're like, listen, I don't know if you guys watched it. If you get a chance, I never like to prescribe to go on to these guys, but you have to enjoy watching people squirm. What was it there? Kind of Funny Games there. Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller wasn't there. Of course, Greg Miller won't show up, but Aaron Greenberg was a guest on their show. And he goes, Aaron, you have a pretty good lineup next year, but you do know Sony's got their big guns coming out next year. If I was Aaron, I would have been like, I'm sorry. What big guns? One, Uncharted, and it has a terrible multiplayer. What? Okay, yeah, really great. And a skeleton crew for a software development team.
Yeah, they did.
They don't have anything coming out next year. There's nothing coming out for the PlayStation. There's Uncharted4 and then a bunch of empty promises. Listen, you're telling me No Man's Sky has been shown on 3 different stages, 15 different programs. They were on the Colbert Show. A month ago advertising the game, and this game still can't run on the PS4. You're telling me Horizon Event Zero is coming out next year? Go fuck yourself. You're a full of shit. You can't look me in the eye and say that because there's no way that's coming out next year. It's impossible, right? It's impossible.
Hey, remember all the Witcher shit? Microsoft, right?
Yes.
Say it again, Crab. I didn't hear shit you said.
Well, I said the Witcher shit. Microsoft got a lot of shit over the Witcher footage.
Uh-huh.
Sony hasn't showed any No Man's Sky footage on the PS4 yet. Nobody's saying shit about it.
Nope.
Nope. Again, see, like I said, if it's crazy. They said we got these tinfoil hats on when we point out, declare shit. This it hasn't been fair. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like Sony gets a pass for everything, you know what I mean? And it's not really that big. I mean, and that's something that's part of the business. They will show you the best looking version of a game. They do it every year with goddamn Call of Duty. They doll it up, show you the PC version, then give you the goddamn console. It's been going on since forever. Mm-hmm. But, every little thing they can fucking nail Microsoft to the cross what they do. Yeah, and like I said, what is Street Fighter? I guess I still consider Street Fighter exclusive for them. They got Street Fighter, they got Uncharted, but goddamn, you got Gears of War 4, Quantum Break, Scalebound. Jesus, like, Microsoft, and listen, and Sony cannot afford to do that.
No.
They can't. Like I said, you guys keep looking onto the Sony, they said it numerous, the days of them pumping out all of these exclusives, you guys not supporting them, they're not doing it anymore. Look at the guys, even like you guys like to brag about these, they still do it now. One man, what's that? One Piece Blood sold 7,000 copies. And that's not my type of shit. I wouldn't buy that shit either, but I'm just saying, but you guys put these list of games up and you say, well, they got, the PS4 got more exclusives. No, they don't. We're talking about fucking exclusives, man. Just when do we count shit like that?
Let's dive into a little bit of the bias. This actually happened. I got into a little bit. I had a really good conversation with a buddy of mine on Twitter, and he was playing devil's advocate. We were kind of going back and forth. But if you guys want to take a look back, look over the past, look over 2015 at the different marketing deals that Microsoft's had and the different marketing deals that Sony's had. And I've gotten into Twitter arguments with people in the gaming media where I'm like, how come you never show this game played on the Xbox One for your review? And the answer I always get back from the reviewer is the marketing deal and the copy that we got was PlayStation because it's a PlayStation marketing. And you know what? It shuts me down. That's a very good point. Well, just the other day, it was Friday to be exact, your buddy and mine, Jeff Keighley, tweets out a picture of a Pip-Boy, and it's got a big Sony logo, PS4 not exclusive, but PS4 whatever, something on the top of it because it's a PS4 edition. And he goes, "Bye-bye weekend. Look what I'm doing." Like what everybody does when they get a new whatever. That's fine. Didn't matter that he did it. But I'm wondering, why is it when Microsoft has the marketing deals, they still show the Sony product? But yet when like Star Wars Battlefront, listen, somebody do me a favor. Send me clips on Twitter of anybody who does a review of Star Wars Battlefront with an Xbox One game. I guarantee you can't send me one unless it's like an Xbox Live channel. Like, literally, you will not find anybody use that because it's Sony's marketing deal. But you will find people that do Fallout 4 reviews using a PS4 copy. Yeah. And that, to me, is bullshit.
In fact, the Fallout 4 screenshots leaked for PS4.
Yeah, they leaked on PS4. You got The Witcher 3, deal with Microsoft, the devs come out.
Microsoft really need to sue somebody. They really need to. That's what somebody just too fucking nice. Like, these motherfuckers are hourly sticking your dick in your Kool-Aid and making you drink it. Like, god damn.
That's gross, man.
I'm just saying, though, like, every look at the same thing with The Witcher. Microsoft had the marketing deal for The Witcher 3, and what everyone is looking at the PS4 version of the goddamn Witcher.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not me. I don't have to listen. Next gen has a tinfoil hat on. I do believe in aliens and stuff like that and giants. But listen, this is some real shit right here. Hey, man. Yeah, it's the truth, though. It's the truth, though, man. Like, my favorite system, my preferred console of choice gets a hard way to go, man. I don't know why, man. The Xbox One is the best box, man.
But I mean, the people say to me all the time, they're like, "Listen, Mooch, why don't you just enjoy what you enjoy?" Listen, you don't understand. When I'm not on Twitter or I'm not, on a YouTube podcast
or harassing kids at GameStop,
or not harassing. Well, I'm not. I've actually stepped my game up. I've actually just started ripping candy from them too, dude. Because it's too fucking easy. So. But when I'm not doing that shit, like literally, I'm enjoying my Xbox. I don't worry about PlayStation 4, PlayStation fans. I don't care because ultimately I'm getting the better experience. And I'll tell you something. This is the most amazing thing. I have not been complaining about. I've been actually, if you watch from BGST when we started, when the NXE program started up until today, I've told you about how better it's gotten. It even gotten better last night. I believe it was late last night. Ibarra sent out another patch and. It even correct. I've been writing him, and I've also been doing the proper reports in the forum. And literally, it did take a little over a week, but they resolved the YouTube issue. They also resolved the third-party Turtle Beach issue for party chat with those. they've taken care of everything as it occurs. Like something you guys all know, anybody who does anything with software, usually when you patch through something, you correct one thing and F something else up. You know what I mean? It tweaks it a little bit, another direction. But these guys are on top of their game. I mean, every single time. So I said to Mike, actually, you did it. You corrected it. Nice work. You know what I mean? I don't need a response from that. That's just like, you did it. You finally. They listen to everything we're doing. Sony doesn't listen to anything people do. You can't ask them for anything. The minute you ask, and I love this. Don't you love how 3, 4, 5 months ago, they were like, Sony's put out a new thing like Microsoft, the request form? They haven't done anything on it, though. They put it out 5 months ago. They haven't even done anything. Nothing. They haven't done anything. They haven't even allowed you to change your name, the folders, the this, the that.
They said, but Yoshida said he don't know. He's not sure if they know how to do that. Like, I don't know who the fuck they got running down the type of engineers they got. God damn.
What kind of software engineers do you have where you're trying to tell me that you don't know what you're doing? You don't know if you can do that. Microsoft did it. Let's call it what it is, right, people? They did a 180. They did a 180. But what other company could have done a 180? Let's say everybody that's listening that hates Microsoft, okay? What if you all decide to hate Sony? What if you all decided to hate Sony at the 2013 E3? Would they have been able to flip a switch and change everything in 4 months?
Hell
I doubt
no.
it. I doubt it. You would have been
Hell no.
eating a fucking spoonful of fucking PS4 bullshit. That's what you got in November. You know? So, I mean, these guys have got some sort of software program in their Windows 10 and whatever they even had early on was able to adapt and change on the fly. That's amazing. That is amazing. We take it for granted, right? All us Xbox guys, you guys are all nodding your heads up and down right now. We're listening because, you know, we take it for granted. When we don't like something, we write to Mike, we write to Phil, you write to Aaron, and presto changeo, in 3 weeks you got your wish. You know what I mean? Or next E3, a bomb drops, you know? Yeah. Everybody's sitting there every goddamn day, backwards compatibility, backwards compatibility. All of a sudden, Phil Spencer comes out, he rolls his sleeves up, he's like, Mike, take it from here, backwards compatibility. It's just like bang, it's constantly. You want this? No problem. Oh, we don't like the icon in the left corner, we want it in the right. 2 weeks later, bang, it's in the right. Everything you ask for, they do. Sony can't change shit. No. Shit, they can't even give you a game.
You know what, Mooch, and sad to say, like I said, it's like comparing apples to oranges. Microsoft is on a totally different level than Sony. Just, you know, professionalism, just all around. Like when Microsoft does it, they do it big. That's what I love about, you know, the Microsoft brand. It's like, honestly, you can't compare the two. You can't, you know. Sony's like that's what I'm saying. Well, Microsoft, one of the things I don't like, be the fucking juggernaut that you are, man. Fuck it, you know, fuck you, pay me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I just don't like the way they tip around. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Fuck that. Do the deal. They can't get to play two ways. So fuck what? Buy the Xbox One. You know what I mean? Like that's all. That's one of the gripes I have with Microsoft. Other than that, they're top notch, man. They do listen to their fans. I like that. You know what I mean? We sit here, we moan, we fuss here on Big Gamer Small Talk, and many things that we've talked about on, you know, on the show or either on Crash Channel or my channel. And they change. They listen. You know what I mean? Not Sony.
Hey, they also watch, dude. I did a video about Phil Spencer.
Yeah, I know.
About like the Xbox fan, and he inboxed me on Twitter and was like, "Hey, man, I appreciate the support." And I was like, "Hey, thanks for watching." I mean, like this is the head of Xbox watching a little dickhead like me on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, and I love that. Like, could anybody picture Yoshida watching somebody's on YouTube? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see that happening.
This motherfucker, Ninja Pony. That motherfucker there.
hey, next gen. I laughed my ass off. They asked Yoshida about backwards compatibility. His answer was no. That was his answer. No. I was like, oh my god, that's hilarious.
No.
What a dick.
Can't do that. Can't do that. No.
Now, I don't know how accurate this is actually, guys, but yeah, two in a day. So another NXE update just came out as launched 14 minutes ago. So. You know, I mean, this is what I'm talking about.
They needed one. I couldn't get on YouTube, man. How can I be on the YouTube? How can I be YouTube if it shuts down my Xbox? I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that was a little oops, but they that's corrected. That was fixed last night. That was fixed in last night's patch.
Well, what happened last night? You got knocked offline last night?
No. If you downloaded the NXE update that was last Sunday, I believe. I'm going to say it was last Sunday. It could have been last Monday or last Sunday. When you went to go click, not everybody got it, but I got it because I tried it out right away. The minute you click on YouTube, it did an immediate power down. It shut your Xbox off.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was like basically what it does. Whatever was in the code, it just went right to shut down. So no big deal. I mean, you didn't erase anything or lose anything.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's because I had some problems with the Windows 10 thing. the update, and it's like night and day. I couldn't even install games. I was fucking inboxing the air, like, yo, it fucking fried my Xbox. I'm like, I got another box in the goddamn living room, but I'm just like, fucking panicking, like, but they changed a lot though. Like those motherfuckers at Microsoft, man, they should all be working at NASA, putting us on the fucking Mars or something.
You know for a fact right now, a lot of these people are losing some weight at Xbox. They aren't even eating because this has got to be out by November 12th.
I gotta work at Xbox then, bro.
The albino rhino gets a job at Microsoft.
I mean,
sign me up for that shit.
There's not much that's still got to be tweaked, but there's still some stuff that's got to be tweaked, and they've only got like 10 solid days. Okay, you can't count the few extra they got dangling on the end. So they've only got a couple of days here, and they a little over a week to get this thing out. Because listen, when you put a deadline out like that, they know sure as shit with their record that's got to come out, and it's got to be damn near flawless. Like, I'll give you an example. My brother, a couple of people I know, they don't have the patience I got. Like, I'll something happens, the YouTube app shuts my Xbox down. I went without YouTube for a week. That didn't bug me. I watched it on my phone, my tablet, whatever. That was fine. But I know a lot of people that have Xboxes that are not, like, in the gaming community. Like, they just play to have fun. They use it as a media hub. Those people will not tolerate if they go to download the new UI and all of a sudden, they click on friends and the shit just starts fucking laughing at them.
Well, it pissed me off because a lot of people, like, that's how I view it. But, like, I like YouTube content. I kick back and watch Next Gens or yours or whoever.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, my albino rhino.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's what I do. Like, I sit back there and I watch that shit. Or even, like, say you were an uploader, right? Say that was your way to upload. That would suck because every time you went to go start up YouTube, it shut off your Xbox. Oh, I thought something was wrong with my Xbox. I was like, oh, shit.
You had a couple of dead roaches in that motherfucker, a couple of dead roaches. Like, damn, they got me. But like I said, with this whole Windows, there's been some horror stories. It hasn't been all pleasant. But one thing I wish, but I think they should change for like something that's major, like your console's fried. I don't think you can call Microsoft. You got to go back to them forums because I was calling everybody. I was calling the mayor, the governor. They're like, no. You got to. I got that motherfucker from India about 2:00 in the morning. But I ain't know what.
And his name was John. Ironically.
Yeah. I got the little man. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. I got him, but I ain't know what. You got to go to the phones. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, they need that. When there's something drastic, something major, like your console, like I couldn't install any games or any of that shit here. I just spent $1.50 on Rockman, went to play it, get my white boy on. And I couldn't install any games, nothing. You know what I mean? And it deleted some of my games on my hard drive. I was like, what the fuck is this? I couldn't reinstall them, but it got fixed. And the following day, I just got tired. I had an update, and that was that. I mean, so I don't know what the hell. But I wasn't the only one though. I heard that was happening to a lot of people. They couldn't install games with the new dashboard update, but.
Yeah, well, what I found too was it wasn't. I don't know if it was installed based on digital, but it was installed based on physical. Like this was 2 or 3 weeks ago before that other patch came out. It was before Halo launched. I would put in like a disc game, and when you put that in, it would say basically it was telling me an error came up like I didn't own the game, like I didn't own it.
Yeah.
So I had to take it out and I put it back in, and then it was like, all right, let's play. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, but like I said, these are the small things to be expected, and it's really not a big deal. But they're working on it. They've got about 10 good days left, guys. I mean, this is not a lot of time. They've got to get this thing out. And then Tomb Raider comes out, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. We were talking about that. I mean, I'm going through Halo, moving through it. But see, Halo to me is not like a lot of people are just busting ass to get through it. Myself personally, Halo is a multiplayer game that lasts years. You know, it lasts a year and a half, 2 years where it's still hot. You always hop in. There's tons of people. So I'm really looking forward to when Tomb Raider comes. I'm definitely gonna be taking a Halo break to kind of jam out on Tomb Raider for a good amount of time.
I haven't played Halo since launch. I've been packing. I'm fire tomorrow.
Well, I guess I gotta do an exposed video.
Oh, you got exposed?
Yeah, both you bitches talking up Halo and not even playing it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's crazy.
Hey, but we bought it.
Yeah, we bought it.
Yeah, we did. We all did.
Microsoft don't give a shit if I experience 1 chapter, 15 chapters, or the 15 chapters 6 times. As long as I gave them $64.99, they don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
I win, you lose.
I win, you lose. Exactly. You know, but no, in all honesty, definitely gonna get through it soon. Well, here's my. Here's my example. I got a crutch. Okay, the Mets have been on every goddamn other day. That might end tonight. That might end tonight, by the way.
I thought you guys were doing good. I thought you were winning. I don't know shit about
man,
baseball.
they were doing damn good for a minute there. And last night's game was theirs, but then they blew it with an error. So I haven't really gotten into because Halo came out right when the World Series. That was the first night of the World Series. But don't get me wrong, that was a great night. I had the World Series Game 1 with the New York Mets in it. I had a Halo launch, and I got my Elite controller, which is.
Oh, we got to talk about that controller. We have to talk about that controller tonight.
I'm loving it.
It's sold out. Sold out.
No, I told you to go to Best Buy.
No, it's not there.
No, it is sold out everywhere.
I tried to get another one, and it's out.
Oh, you can't even pre-order it?
They're selling it for $500 on eBay right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you can. I will tell everybody this. Hope I'm not ruining all the eBay haters out there, but you can go on Microsoft Store right now, and I believe this was as of this morning. Major Nelson tweeted something out, or it was Phil. You'll get it before on November 30th. So you gotta wait a month.
Serious. No, you think they keep doing that to keep the hype up?
Hey, let them. That's the way to do it.
No, I think they underestimated how many people wanted it.
You know, what's one thing I can say about Xbox fans or with us? We support our console. You know, that's why exclusives do.
That's it.
You know, I just did a little show, and I have so much shit here. I bought every goddamn controller they released for this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Several Xbox headsets and all this shit. You know what I mean? We support our fucking our product, man. It is what it is. But that Pro controller, what's it called? The Elite controller. That motherfucker feel like a pistol in your hand, man. You know what I mean? I like how you can, especially if you're into shooters, how you can flick the switch down in the back and you can give it like a hair trigger. You don't have to push it all the way down to zoom in, just halfway, and that is awesome, man. And I like the weight of it. You know what I mean?
Have you started using any of the paddles, Z?
Yes, I use the ones that are raised. I use the ones that are raised. No, the paddles, no. I took the paddles off. It didn't feel natural to me. I took the paddles off. I guess those would be good for racers. You know, up, shift down. You can just right across or whatever.
A lot of people are using the paddles in the back for like on first-person shooters for reload, so you don't have.
It didn't feel natural in my hand. So I took the paddles off.
I do know what you mean. It doesn't feel, and this is not a knock on the controller because the scuffs were in the same spot. Mm-hmm. It's just myself personally after playing for so long. But then again, I watched a couple of YouTube folks that have really been diving into the Elite controller, and they said it's not going to feel comfortable at first, but they said pick a control that you wanted to do, that you really would desire something to do besides the one you're using, Z. And then he said just keep doing it for a week or two. You will get so used to having it on the back that you don't, because your hand's already there. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Your hand's already there. So if your hand could just rest on it and then tap, you don't need to put
I get it. No, trust me. No, like I said, I get it. Even like I said, from I suck dick at first-person shooters. I do. I got the reflexes of 95-year-old man. But I put the extended thumbsticks up there, and I like I said, I put the for the hair triggers for the zoom the zoom in and for the pull the trigger. And I'm busting heads out that motherfucker, man. I played that first night. I was like, oh shit, I'm spinning around all fast like a ballerina out there, but on coke. I'm spinning and shit, dropping. Oh, look at this shit! Look at me. You know what I mean? What I really love about it, I love the way it feels in your hand. I can't explain it.
Well, that's it.
It's very orgasmic. I mean, it feels like I don't know, man, like a gun.
I was jamming out last night, and somebody said to me, so Mooch, what do you think? What's the deal with this? And I was like, I'll be honest with you. And I said exactly what you just said to a T. I said, it really doesn't make a lot of sense for me to put it this way, but it holds. It's like a Glock, man. You hold that, and like it just feels. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's got that weight. It's got.
It feels nice. It feels really nice.
If you've ever gotten an opportunity, I don't care if it was a test drive, you own one, your friend has one, your mother or father has one. If you've ever driven a BMW, okay, I guarantee you've not felt a steering wheel like a BMW. The reason it's where the tire actually does meet the road, you can feel the heaviness of that wheel. If I take you out of that car, a 3 Series, 5 Series, I take you out of there and I put you into like a Nissan Altima, you'll feel the steering wheel gets a lot lighter. It's a lot looser. So like
also too, and shout out to Eric, and shout out to Robert too. He's a big fan of our show. It's his birthday this week, but I'm talking to Eric on the inbox on Twitter. He said it's the frictionless sticks because they're centered perfectly. So when you spin around, you're not rubbing anything, and you're not slowing it down. It's a smooth spin. Like I noticed that about because I'm able to spin around faster. Like when you do a half circle with the thumbsticks, it's smooth. Like it doesn't. It's not getting. Cause not no friction. It just spins. I don't know if it's the magnet or maybe the fact that it's metal, but it moves around so smooth, man. You know.
You know, somebody just brought up. Shout out to this new person. I never really talked to him on Twitter, but he's writing to us. DC Jab. He goes, I use one of my paddles for on the Elite for the Halo melee. That's interesting.
For the bumper.
Yeah, instead of the bumper, he's got it on a paddle in the back on the Elite. Now that's actually a great idea, but the bumper doesn't bug me so much for Halo. But the one thing that's always bothered me in past years, in like Call of Duties, the melee was depression. You have to depress the right analog, and a lot of times you do that and it would skip forward. So when you actually, you know, you had to do it instead of knifing them, you just kind of walk and get shot, you know. Yeah. So if you could make a paddle that swipe, that's a whole nother animal. That's kind of a great idea, man. Good shout out to you, man. That's a good idea. Like that, a melee could on a paddle instead of like a depression on an analog. I could see that coming in handy.
Yeah, but like I said, Microsoft, I don't know whoever thought of that, because I guess scuffs are a big business if you're into that type of thing. Like me, I always said I wasn't going to map anything out. You know, I'm a one-trick pony. I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you know, like the Xbox One controller to me already felt perfect. It felt, I thought it couldn't get no better than a 360 controller. And then, you know, because the Xbox One controller, it's a little different than the 360 controller. With the top buttons, the RB and what's the 1 and 2, what the fuck it's called. They're a little different. The bumpers and stuff, they're a little different. But now I'm so used to the Xbox One because it feels perfect. Like I said, for the Microsoft, for your next console, you ain't got to change shit. Leave it like it is. You ain't got to nothing, you know what I mean? Unless you make the Elite controller standard, you know, but, you know, I don't think it's kind of expensive. It's all metal in that one, but it's not too heavy, not too bulky. It's not like you got a Wii U gamepad and anything like that.
That's kind of it, you know. That's
not even 150. Come on, I mean, those scuff controllers are like $250.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, so 150. That's a damn good deal.
People keep comparing the 150 price tag to the $60 or the $40 ones that you can get that are cheaper and knockoff. That's not what they're trying to say here. They're trying to say if you wanted the one that was $250 with scuff, we're actually knocking it down $100. Everyone's looking. You know, of course, the jackass media. Thank you, California media. I'm sorry you guys are all making, I don't know what the hell they're making out there, $16 a year. So I don't know. They're always constantly complaining they don't have any money, but at the same time, they're always eating out and fucking this and that. I don't have enough money for this or that. Listen, you're in the gaming world. How do you not? It's a write-off. I don't know. It's your problem. But my point is that like, literally $150 compared to the $250 price tag is not bad. It's not comparable with the $60 one. No shit. I get that. You can buy two $60 ones, three $60 ones for almost the same cost. I get it. But you're talking about apples and oranges. This thing does functions the other one doesn't do.
Yeah.
Someone told me this a long time ago. When you actually take a dollar bill out of your pocket and you pay somebody, if you get a service, if you're getting a service for that, then you're actually getting something for your money. If you feel like you gave money out of your pocket, exactly, and you didn't get nothing back, you got ripped off. Okay? So if you're actually taking extra money out of your pocket, but this controller does, it's got the weight, it's got the feel, it's got the grip, it's got different accessories to it. It's got longer analog sticks, shorter ones, rounded. Yeah, exactly. Curved inward, curved outward, D-pad.
Yes,
It's got the round D-pad if you're more into like Killer Instinct and fighting games, Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
You can flip-flop all the X, Y, A, B, all that shit comes out. You can flip it around. Everything is programmable, changeable, and you can have different modes. So while you're playing the same game, you can have the custom controller set for shooting, and then once you get into like a vehicle, you can just snap over, and it's a different control scheme for driving. So you can't say for $150, and you guys all know this is going to be $100 soon. But I mean, even now, if you want to get it now, $150 is still not a bad price for what it actually does.
Compared to the who they compete against the Scuff. Microsoft has a deal now, a partnership with Scuff or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, but it's like I said in the day, I will say this, and maybe it's the gift and the curse. Now I don't want to play with the other controllers anymore. Just being there, that's my main controller when I pick up. So now I'm going to have to go about 3-4 more of these more. But you got me, Microsoft. You fucking got me. You got me. I don't want to play with I promise you, if you guys get your Elite controller, you're not going to want to play with the other ones anymore. They're going to feel like plastic in your hand. Like, they got that shit off, man. It feels like, it's awesome, So, it is what it is. You got me, Microsoft.
Have you guys noticed, like the, I don't know if we talked about this much yet, but the whole, PS4 power issue, right? With No Man's Sky and then again with Uncharted, and it seems like like not, it was only 900p, brushing the power differences is underneath the rug. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. I mean, what power is it that we're actually talking? I've said this from a numerical standpoint. There's only one chipset inside the PS4 that beats Microsoft on paper, and that's the GPU. We all know what it does. Okay, that's fine. But that is not to say all. I mean, how many times does Z have to say in another video that what Albert Pinello said? They're not going to give the advantage. And the best quote that Albert Pinello ever said was during the 2014 E3, I believe, when he gave the comparison of a Ford or an American muscle car versus like a Porsche, and he's like, you have a straightaway line, that American muscle car is going to blow that Porsche away. He goes, the minute you put a curve in the road, the muscle car goes flying off the road, and the precision of the Porsche hugs the curve, and you have a different winner at the end. So he goes, you have to have a fine balance of power and precision. And that was actually the most intelligent thing I've ever heard someone. It was a great way to put it. It was in layman's terms, and people could really wrap their heads around it. Of course, the media couldn't wrap their heads around it because all they kept saying, they were like, even after he gave that great analogy, they're like, so you don't have enough power in the Xbox?
You know what? I think and what you're saying, like I said, you always talk about this Al Pinello thing, and it just makes sense. But I've been saying that shit since forever. But sometimes when it comes to Sony, kind of box themselves in the corner because because you don't have it. You're not talking about games. You're just talking about we're the most powerful console. We're on the market ever created, the most powerful console. But then you're running your games, and you're saying not even. Here's the fuck this. I'm gonna be honest. You got Sony. You got this whole 1080p 60. They've been talking about that 1080p 60 frames per second since the PS3. Sky's on the street. But then even with the PS4, they get used to hearing 1080p 60 frames a second. And then when they showed the Uncharted trailer, they showed it 1080p 60 frames a second. Like, oh god, Sony, those motherfuckers some goddamn con artists, man. And here it is, whether you say, well, it's only the multiplayer. Fuck that. You said get used to 1080p 60 frames a second, and they don't have not one AAA exclusive. No. That's 1080p 60 frames a second.
And now we really have to put the nail in the coffin here. We really got to put the nail in the coffin with this whole power thing. With Uncharted coming out, it's going to be into the third year of this generation cycle for PlayStation, and they're still. And now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe the single player is going to be 1080p 30, and then it's going to be 960.
60.
But the single player is only 1080p 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my point is,
just like Tomb Raider,
right?
On Xbox One.
And look at what Halo 5. Yes, it's dynamic resolution, but it is dynamic genius resolution is what they should call it, because it's 1080p 60. The 60's always there. I have no idea when I'm hanging out with three buddies and we're going through a mission. And we're like, yo, over here, we're going over there. There's explosions, shit's going on. Everything is crisp, butter, smooth silk. I have no idea if it dips down to 900p 30 yards in front of my character. I have no fucking clue, neither do you. I don't care who's listening to me. You don't have any idea what you're talking about if you can argue with me. You can't tell 1080p and 900p when there's 50 million things going on.
I can't tell 720p from 1080p.
No, nobody can, man, because like I said, Dead Rising 3 was 720p. The thing's gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't. Well, even, it's not saying, you guys are just damn, IGN said, remember they compared, what's the first Call of Duty for the Xbox One and PS4? Was Black Ops Call of the Ghost or something? And they said we're going to give the years to the PlayStation 4 version because it's in 1080p, and both versions were 720 fucking p. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, like it's that's that bias. Like I said in the day, no one has a 900p TV. No one. I've never seen one in the market, and I am a faggot that loves gadgets. I buy everything. You know what I mean? I've never seen a 900p on the TV on the market. You know what I mean? No. Both consoles they upscale, and like I said, the Handler 2.0, the Xbox One is second to none. It's top notch.
The media provokes Z because what you're saying is 100% accurate. Nobody in the world has any idea. Microsoft probably sat there and they were like, a lot of the games may be 900p to start, and then we'll get up to 1080p. And somebody in Microsoft was like, who gives a shit? Nobody cares. We're making games. Nobody cares about that little bit. Mm-hmm. You have these couple of assholes that are on YouTube that do PC gaming, and then you got a bunch of, and then you have the entire media that just was like, well, I don't want to go a whole generation and just talk about games. What do you guys say we talk about sales and resolution? That sounds like a fucking fancy word, right? Let's do resolution for a little while. And they ran with that, And they're still doing it. Now, it is dwindling down. It dwindles down every single time Xbox slowly trumps. Halo 5's accomplishments trump this power conversation. It steps on its throat. Because no matter how you slice or dice it, dynamic resolution or not, it's 60 frames, 1080p. Whether it's a portion of the time, that portion is more than anything Uncharted is going to give you. Because Uncharted is going to be 1080p 30 or 960. So you're never getting 1080p 60 at all, period. So
good point.
You know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Good point. But like I said in the day, you know, I can care less about resolution. I just entertain these conversations because this is all that you guys have to, you know, throw in Xbox One fans. And it's crazy. As soon as we talk about it, I thought you don't care about sales. I thought you know, I don't care, but it's all you motherfuckers talk about.
That's all they talk about. So what are we gonna do? How can we not bring it up when that's the only thing to talk about?
Yeah, I'm just showing you.
I did do a video about sales. I congratulated the PS4 on their sales. If anything, like the good portion about that is consoles are doing fine.
They are.
Like, because the Xbox One's doing fine too. So that's what I like to see.
But you know what?
Everybody's buying consoles.
What you're saying right
they
there,
like it. So.
What you're saying right there, in a pony's mind, both they can't both be successful. You know what I mean? They can't. You know what I mean? And they're not like you can't have two consoles. They're doing one has to be.
Last gen would like a word with people that think that way though, because last gen every one of them sold the shit ton.
No one lost. Yeah. That's what I don't understand. Like, you know, and it's not, you're just saying it because I don't give a fuck. I didn't get any money last year from Microsoft for them kicking the PS3's ass. We didn't talk about, so we talked about games. Because I stumbled upon this community, and when we were talking, you Sony guys were talking, bragging about, you guys have all these exclusives. And you didn't have any on the Xbox, 360. You know, we just got the Halo, we got the Gears every other year. That was about it. You know what I mean? And you guys hated the 360 for just doing the multiplats. But now this is what you guys are praising. Like, you motherfuckers there, man. Like, I don't know, man. You're like a female. You can't make your mind up. To take the trash out or don't take the trash out. But we know what Microsoft got to do next generation? They got to cover all. Don't leave no stone unturned.
They need to spend that money.
Yeah, no stone unturned. You know what I mean?
They're doing a great job. You know, some people we all know, some in the podcast, some not, they'll remain nameless. Some people are in these programs, these beta programs. I hope when they're going to do some future development and they're getting to that next level where they're going to decide, poll a lot of the users right now that have been giving them good feedback right now and say, listen, this is the kind of chipset we were thinking about because we want to do this. You know, of course, sign an NDA. And it's not like you're actually going to get the information from the customer, but see what the people want. And I agree with you, Z. This next box they got, look, you want to have all the IPs your own. You don't want to do the contracts of Call of Duty and all that. Great, we're all behind you, Phil. But all we're asking is one thing. Make it so that one thing is for certain. Nintendo and Sony can never again, never, ever again say they have a more powerful box than you. Never. Just put the best thing money can buy in the box that you could possibly get and never let us have to go through this again. Because he's doing everything else right? Yeah. We've got the better UI, the better online, the better controller, the better games. Now you just put one...
Even with the more powerful box, they still need the games and the listen and do everything else. Because, look,
that's my point.
This is the first generation where the most powerful is winning the generation. It never happened before. So just being the most powerful isn't a guaranteed victory.
No, I'm just saying, no. What I'm saying is leave no stone.
True.
But here's the thing. As far as the games thing with Phil being in place, I don't think they can have a problem with that. You know what I mean?
No, they won't.
You know, they just throwing money at these third-party things. I don't think they're going to go back to do it. I don't know. I can't foresee the future. But, like I said, the Xbox One is selling fine. But what I'm saying is leave no stone unturned. You know what I mean? Like I said, I still think it's crazy. Console gamers are talking about resolution and about frames per second. Like we never talked about that shit before. And I think, like I said before, I cared that much about that. I would game on PC. You know what I mean? I would. You know, but I'm a console dude. We're all console dudes. So I think it's kind of funny or whatever. You know what I mean? It is. You know what I mean? I have both consoles. If my games looked much better on my PlayStation 4, guess what? I am a consumer before anything. I will play my games on my PS4. But there is no fucking difference. It's the God's honest truth. Right. You know? Well, that guy's that's the Xbox One version of that game, right? Look at that. Look at those jaggies. Look at those textures. I can't tell. Look at
those jaggies.
The Wii version of Call of Duty, and I got the Xbox 360 version. You can't fucking tell. Like, I just think this is the craziest shit. But that's when you don't have, I guess, any games to talk about. You know, you guys, this multiplayer. That's what rules. You said yourself you get multiplats every Tuesday. You get exclusives every 6 months.
No matter how they want to slice or dice it, a lot of PlayStation fans, even fans, this is going to go down. This is going to be very hush-hush. A lot of PlayStation fans are going to buy Xbox Ones this holiday.
Oh, yeah, they are, man.
They're not going to talk about it.
Mooch, crap, I've said that from the beginning.
Yep.
It's not going to be no different. Everybody's going to own both consoles at the end of the day. You know, if you're a gamer, you know what I mean? If you're a gamer, like I said before, fuck this console war, whatever. If Sony had something that I wanted to play, even the Mooch, we talked about you. Even Mooch got a goddamn PS4. If something comes out that he wants to play, you know, I'm not gonna buy that shit. I'm not gonna play with those. No, I'm a fucking game. I play games. I've been doing this shit since the early '80s, man.
Yeah, we've always been a double console house. Always had everything.
Yeah, but
the point of the matter is there's nothing on the goddamn thing.
It's not.
You set it up, you let your controller charge for the 3 hours it lasts, and you put it away.
Hey, Mooch, come on, that was a low blow there, Mooch. Come on, you got that fucking neon light in this motherfucker. Sitting having giving kids seizures and shit.
Well, yeah, that way when I'm watching my movie at night, I can leave the lights off and I can use that as a flashlight to get back to where I make my drinks.
Yeah,
literally, that's all the damn thing is good for.
Yeah, man, fuck. But yeah, but I mean, but like I said, you know, everyone's gonna own both consoles. You know what I mean? Maybe if the NX takes off, maybe people own all three. Whatever the goddamn case, man. Like we're gamers, but like I said, I can't wait for this generation to go back to just talking about who got the better exclusive. That's an argument or a debate I would love to have. You know what I mean? That's what makes it fun. All this P's and lines and vertical upscaling and slicing and splicing. Come on with that nerd shit, bro.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention to that shit. Literally,
it's
shoving it down our throats. They keep talking about it. Every time you tune into any podcast that's done by, even the professional companies that have, like the IGNs, all them, when they have the worst is that GameSpot. But whenever you listen to any of the first thing they do is, well, I did notice that, the PlayStation's is a little bit better looking. No, dude, you have no idea. What are you wearing, a monocle? You have no idea what you're talking about. Nobody can see that difference.
Hey, Mooch, even better. If the human eye could tell the difference, you won't have sites like Digital Foundry telling us what's what. It's the truth. That's not no damage control. These people spend thousands of dollars on this equipment to slow shit down to get. If the human eye can tell from what's which, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, anyone who's listening right now that doesn't believe what we're saying, just think about this. We were all a part of this. Think about all your favorite online sites, whether it be IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, anybody. No matter who it is, think about them before 2013. Their channels, their websites were much, much, much smaller. Now you go on IGN, there's Podcast Unlocked, Beyond, there's Game Scoop, there's Jimmy's Opinion, Martha's Answers, blah, blah, blah. Right? It's just every asshole who's got an opinion out there, and they have a show because but we're not paid. My point is that
I get paid by Microsoft.
But literally, it's like these guys expanded and blew up because they found that there's a market for this. We're not talking about games anymore. We're talking about the grass levels in GTA 5.
Yeah,
and we're talking about, you know what I mean?
That was funny.
Yeah, and
I thought that was a troll, dude. I thought that was bullshit.
That was real shit there, bro. And listen, if that's not come on, man. God, the grass is greener on the other side. Literally, get the fuck out of here, man. It never rains in sunny California. And they tell me, that was crazy, man. goddamn, said the Xbox version of Grand Theft Auto, they had their lawns in California. There's rain drought over there. What the fuck? Come on, blades of grass. That's crazy, man. That's I don't know, man. I don't know. But hey, man, what the fuck can I say, man? I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm not just saying that because my favorite console, well, not even say my favorite, my console of choice. We all have a preference. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, what makes the PS4 better? I've yet to come across a debate. You know what I mean? What makes the PlayStation 4 better than the Xbox One? Literally.
There's nobody to give you the answers, Lee. The only answer you're going to get is the answers that we just went over for the past 45 minutes, and that was basically you're going to hear it's more powerful and it sold more.
Wait, more powerful? I mean, what is it? Right. What am I getting with this power? The game's going to look better? They're going to run better?
You're getting No Man's Sky. They can't run on it yet.
Okay, what about the trade-off then? All right, okay, you say the PS4 is more powerful, okay? Then we got the Xbox One with a more a steadier online, a better online features. So, We all play online, we all these multi. I mean, it's a trade-off. I mean, the yin and the yang. I will take the Xbox hands down any day of the week. Any day of the week, and it's just the God's honest truth, man.
And twice on Sunday.
I like the multitasking. I just love it, man. You know what I mean? Like whoever thought of that though, the multitasking. Like it just seems so plain when I go to the PlayStation 4. It's like, I don't know.
It literally is the lonely Station 4, man. Look at the friends. I love Xbox's new UI, and anyone who's listening that doesn't have it yet, listen, don't fret. You're gonna have it in 10, 11 days. But the point of the matter is that like the minute you log on, see before the old way was your friend's actual massive face would come up, their profile would just be up in front of you, which is great because it was right in your face. Now it's in your face, just not.
In your face.
If
that makes sense. It's in your face, but it's not in your face.
Yeah, because all I need to do is really just see the number to the side. But the minute you hit to the left, bang, immediately hits your friends, and everything scrolls up right there. It's right in front of you. You don't even leave your home dash. You can see everything. And it's done in a very tasteful way. Mm-hmm. It really is. So I do enjoy that. I like that much better. I really think they've come a long way since they brought the beta out. And again, on the PlayStation 4, it's just the first thing that's in front of you is the long, 7-mile long scroll bar of all the things that you got or you don't got, and then you have to click up again. And the minute you click up again, you get really depressed because you know why? It looks like a PS3. The minute you click up to go up, your settings, your tools,
did you see those
friends.
PlayStation VR games, right? They look like PS2 games.
Yes.
I was watching a damn little trailer thing for it. It was like it looks like PS2 games. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a study that they're doing, and this may be old news to some of you, but they're bringing it back to life, which means there's some weight behind it. A lot of people who are using this VR, especially Sony's, are getting pretty ill as soon as they take the headset.
Motion sickness.
They're getting motion sickness. When you start to have that kind of a problem, the other thing is you guys all saw this. It was on the interweb. But no, literally they had this thing where they had a woman put on the VR and they had her doing that movie Walk the Line or whatever that is, where that guy walks across the two wasn't the
tightrope or some shit.
Tightrope against the Twin Towers back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you could simulate that in the Sony VR. But the woman had to actually, naturally, she had to walk. She had to walk. Who the fuck is walking in their house, apartment, friend's house, walking into a vase, breaking a glass?
You know what, though? Listen, I guess we can talk about this little France thing there. We haven't talked about the France thing, right? And they showed the VR thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, and Sony, you're winning right now. You don't. Your steps have been guided by greatness. You're about to throw it all away because I like gadgets. You're talking about to a man that owned 25 tablets at one time in my life. Literally, I bullshit you not. If I'm not told, I will find the link to them. One day I was counting the name of what tablets I had. I had them all in the video. Anyway, but I like gadgets. That shit right there does not interest me one fucking bit. Did you see that Bloodborne game on that fucking roller coaster? What the fuck was that? Like, that was horrible, yo. I don't know what's worse, that or that fucking horror movie game that came out for the Kinect. That's how bad that shit was, man. Like, oh my god, and it looked like fucking PlayStation 2 games or something. Like you're taking a step back. Like, oh man, And what is this Gran Turismo? Is that a PlayStation 4 game, or is that just a VR headset game? You know what I mean? What is that?
It's a VR game.
So it's for the VR.
Yeah, there's some of that stuff looks on rails, right? Like, yeah, and I thought on rail stuff was bad, but I guess that was only bad when it was Kinect. I don't know.
Yeah, but that oh man,
I'm talking about the cash for this Z. This thing supposedly from a Sony exec, he roughly estimated that it's going to be about the sale price of a console. Yeah, so let's say they even cut it short. Let's say it's not $400. Let's say it's $300. People are bitching about a $99 Kinect right now or a $150 controller that actually does shit. Who the fuck wants to put this thing on, play a PS2
People said nobody would buy the controller. They said nobody would buy it.
Yes,
and it's sold out everywhere.
Yeah, then somebody started tweeting when everyone was getting theirs the other night, and we were all like tweeting our pictures out, be like, oh shit, this thing's great, it's great. All the ponies were saying, oh, that's not console gamers buying it, that's PC gamers buying it. First of all, Microsoft would like to say thank you.
So anybody that bought
they don't give a shit who the fuck buys it. I don't care if you buy it. You could have a PS4, no PC, no Xbox One. You buy it, they're like, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Sale's a sale.
The sale's a sale. Second of all, you're full of shit again because you should have seen the minute that comic came out, all the people, me included, we were all taking pictures and setting them up next against the Xbox One, being like, nope, console guy. Everybody was just shooting them out at him. And like literally, it's just, first of all, it doesn't matter because like a lot of people are buying PS4s, and then like the three of us have it shut off collecting dust. So it's like, what's the difference if you buy it? Sony doesn't care if I buy it and play it. They want me to buy it, and they can. You become
it's a sale. It's a statistic. You know what I mean?
You become a notch. Yeah, that's all it is.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. Check it out. Do you think Sony would try to do something like that?
No, you mean make their own controller?
No, hell no.
No,
Make
they're
their own
broke.
Pro controller?
They're broke.
No.
How about this? How about the first thing they could do is write enough the correct software to shut that fucking flashlight off? No, they can't even do that.
Dude, that thing will kill your battery super fast, man. Like super fast.
Yeah. I don't know.
I use my PS4, and whenever I turn it on, it's like it's like controller battery dead.
Have you guys ever realized? Now I know why there's a Radio Shack next to every GameStop. You got to leave with your PS4, walk over, and get a 75-foot extension USB so that you can actually play that goddamn
what's up
thing.
with that, though? I don't know why Sony gives you that low ass fucking. That bitch about the size of a half a shoelace, man. That's crazy. Oh, speaking back to fucking wires. You see that braided rope that comes with our fucking Elite controller? That shit's about 12 feet long, man. That's good shit there, Microsoft.
Now, here's my question, coming from my world of what I do. When I notice that, is it just the braid that's different, or they do that just for effects? Like,
no, it'll last long. It won't short out. It's like
I was gonna say, typically you put that type of, usually use a neoprene. Most of the cables we all get are neoprene jacket. It's just a material that's like a shrink tubing. This is actually a woven.
It won't wear and tear. That's
so you can really bend it. It's probably, you know what I mean. So it's much more durable. You can bend it, you can break it, you can pull on it. It's gonna give you a little bit more. And I mean that doesn't mean you could play fucking whatever that fucking game is where everyone's pulling on both sides. Really want to jam it or play fucking Chinese checkers with it. But like realistically, it just shows you the type of quality that went into this thing. Everything down. They could have just thrown in the regular cord. First of all, the cord. How long is that cord? Z? Is it like 10
feet? It's like about fucking 12 feet or something. But as long as
my TV's a good 10, 12 feet from my couch.
It's nice though.
Shit in and it rides all the way.
I even like the case though. Like Mike, I said one thing. I want to say this too. I'm gonna get a little topic here. Whoever Microsoft picks to do their boxing for their consoles or it's top notch.
Their packaging is
top. I know it's like a fucking major fanboy right now, like an X-Body.
No, you
want the truth. No, when I got the day one edition of the Xbox One, I remember got the black box day one edition. And I remember then I got the PS4. I got and the PS4 box was nothing in it. It was plain, nothing,
PS4 looked like a waffle maker came out of that.
Yeah,
it was panini.
Yeah, it was so yeah. I'm like, damn, like Microsoft really, even with this Elite controller box, is very nice, very sleek. It's nice, dope shit, man. Kudos to you, Microsoft, man. And another hit on the hand.
I want to go back to what he's talking about, but I do want to get, while this is on my mind, I'm writing this note down. Anybody who's still, everybody knows I'm a huge Titan, but nobody's going to be more of a huge fan of Titanfall 2 coming exclusively back to Xbox than me when that is announced. But Titanfall Deluxe Edition, I understand that it's Titanfall is available through EA Access right now, so if you're a permanent EA Access customer, that's great. You go to that, enjoy it. But if you're not in EA Access and you don't have Titanfall, or you're like me, I'm buying it tonight. I've had Titanfall since day one, but I got it on disc, and every time people want to play, it's like, all right, I got to take whatever I'm playing, like Destiny, take the disc out, go put Titanfall in. It's $5 right now in the Xbox store for the Deluxe Edition. So if you don't have Titanfall, the Deluxe Edition, everything. You find out what Vince Zampello's favorite toilet paper is. Everything comes in this fucking thing for $5, man.
Yo, you know what? I'm glad you said this. Check this out. I did a video. I don't know if you talked about this in your video, Craig. I'm sorry. I've been really busy packing and moving a couple weeks. But anyway, I said something on Twitter, and I mentioned in the video about Forza 6 not charting in the top 10 or whatever the case may be. And I said, taking the fact, not that the game flopped or whatever, but, a lot of people, it's the truth, buy their games. Like I said, I have about 6 people on my friends list that I know, that I speak to, a lot of people I don't know personally, but they bought the game digitally. You know what I mean? It's not that it's like the game flopped or anything. That's a prime example. Was NPD is not really so correct. You take a look. When was the last time you seen Titanfall in the top 10 or anything and fucking on NPD? And that shit sold 10 million fucking units. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is was probably maybe the most successful exclusive this generation by far or whatever the case.
10
It
million.
sold 10 million copies. When was the last time you seen that shit in the NPD in the top 10 or the top 20?
No, you don't. I don't know if it made the on the NPD after the first month or two of its release.
That's what I'm trying to say. And the game has legs. It's continuously to sell. When was it? I'm just being real. You had some months that didn't shit come out. You had games from the 360 charting. When last you seen fucking Titanfall in the top 10?
On BGST for about a year now, I've been saying Titanfall 2, Titanfall 2. Why do you think Microsoft keeps putting this game for $5-10 every so often? They want it to be in everyone's house. They want it to be branded with Microsoft because you know why? I think Phil's buying that shit. I'm not playing with you guys. I'm not playing with. Look at what
if he does.
Why is it? Do me a favor. Crap. Do me a favor. Tell me the last time. When has Dead Rising 3 been $5? Why isn't Rise $5?
Never, yeah, right.
Because they want Titanfall to be the next fucking. They want it in everybody's console. They want it to be the next Call of Duty. They want it to be the.
You want to be their next. They're three-peat. They have Halo. They got Gears and trying to make it happen. Titanfall as another big thing.
Think about it. Every asshole that's gonna buy Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is saying, well, I kind of like the wall run. Go fuck yourself, dude. A year and a half ago, you told me that shit was crazy and too sci-fi. Now you can't wait to use it in Black Ops 3. There's people who are playing Halo 5 that are like, this game would be pretty good if it had a double jump. Fuck yourself. That's what fucking Titanfall did. Literally, Microsoft is like this. You know what? Why don't we own Titanfall? It's already branded with us. People want it. And now if you want to play Titanfall 2, Vince Appella came out and said it. He goes, we're doing some special shit with Titanfall 2. Titanfall 1 was such a great first step that the second one is going to be fucking like, remember Modern Warfare 2? Modern Warfare 2 was fucking, that shit was crisp. Love that shit. I played that. That was the one where one of the 360 games, my thumbs were bleeding. I played that shit so much. That's what you're going to get with Titanfall 2. You're going to get a community that's built strong. And it can be on Windows 10. It's already on, it was on PC last gen, or the first one. So it's already got the market based. It's perfect for Microsoft and what they're trying to do. It's really the marriage between Windows 10 and Xbox.
Here's the thing. And it'd be huge. And I'm not, damage control. I'm not gonna buy it if it's a multi-plat game, because when I look at Titanfall, I look at all the possibilities. If they have full, the cloud, really use it, full destructible environment. Imagine them big ass mechs like a 10 city down. God damn, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that right there will work perfect for the cloud. Probably even more than goddamn Crackdown. Fuck Crackdown. Give me Titanfall 2 with the power of the cloud, full destructible environments. Now you're saying something. You know what I mean? That right there is fucking epic. Drop that big ass mech, drop my shit on top of the building, make the building collapse. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? I gotta go down underground to get inside my motherfucking Titan and come up through the sewers or something like that. That'd be fucking dope shit, man.
But think about it too, Z. Every single year this generation, starting with Master Chief Collection and Sunset Overdrive. Then this year they had, Halo 5, Tomb Raider. Next year we're gonna have Gears, maybe Crackdown or Scalebound. Then the year after that would be Titanfall 2 and who knows what the fuck. But like literally it would just be like that's another fucking feather in Phil's cap that can't be touched. Sony can't touch. Look, we already know, okay? Nothing can touch Halo 5. Halo 5 sales have to be astronomical. Gears next year, I don't give a shit. Look, I understand Uncharted is going to do very well. I understand that. But because Uncharted comes out in March, we all know this. Just like Sony at E3, you always want to go last. It's better to go last because you can see what the shit's coming up. So Uncharted coming out in March, there's a lot of shit that can go on after March. So Uncharted will be forgotten by the time we're in December. Then you've got.
So by the time we're in June, it'll be forgotten.
And what do they got after that? Like literally, you telling me what is it? Horizon Event Zero. First of all, Guerrilla Games is a really great.
What's one thing that scares me about that game? They make great. They make dog shit games, and the game does look. It looks beautiful. I haven't played. We don't know anything about gameplay because we judge these games about how we see them. We don't know how they make. Maybe very repetitive. We don't know any of that shit. And Guerrilla Games, they make dog shit. They like Crytek. The games are beautiful, but they're not fun. That's what scares me about that game. Is that that game was made by Sony Santa Monica or Naughty Dog. I'll be a little more enthusiastic about the goddamn game. But being that they're making it, I don't know, man. But by the time you say June, I know it's gonna be talking about Uncharted.
And that's my whole. And listen, you guys know this. The same. I told you when Uncharted Collection came out. I always said when Uncharted comes out, once they start to do the whole Uncharted thing, I'm diving in head first because I do like Uncharted, and this is coming from me. I'm telling you that I like Uncharted, and I'm telling you Uncharted 4 to me is going to be nothing more than a continuation. I'm not going to get done playing Uncharted 4 and be like, that was a fucking great game. I'm just going to be like, yeah, it was all right. It was good. It was Uncharted. You know what I mean? Like, on to the next. Like, I'm going to move on. Halo 5 to me is epic because I see the differences they're making. I like the changes. And don't forget, as much as I know what the Halo story is, I wasn't the type of person to read the books and the comics.
That's Warrior shit there.
I didn't do all that shit. So when you as a creative writer take a different turn, I'm interested. I'm very interested. Like, I like that Walking Dead show that's on Sunday nights. It's on in a little while. Every fucking season they do this little twist that, yes, if you're a comic book fan, a lot of people I know read the comics, they're like, well, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. Who gives a shit? Let these people fucking direct you and take you in another direction. It's not necessarily bad, it's just different. Different isn't bad, people, okay? People don't understand that. Xbox does something different. That's bad. Well, it's not bad. It's just not fucking the same thing. You know what I mean?
But they have to evolve. If not, they're gonna. Like, I like the direction that they've taken Halo 5 in.
It's evolved.
It has to evolve. You know what I mean? They have. You know, they're not the only kid on the block anymore. They got the Call of Duties. They got what else is a big shooter? Whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Now they're doing the whole. You know, we bring your teammate back to life and all that shit. That's cool. They have to, change some things and still let Halo keep his identity. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, do you think we'll be getting Halo 6 before the generation is over, or are they going to save that for us?
Yeah, we will. We definitely will.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because look, you'll get one in probably 2 to 3 years, and then they'll do another one next console to have a Halo game 2 years in. So. All
right. So wait. So you saying? All right, what year is this? This is 2015. Right? So you think we get another Halo in 2018?
Yeah, and then probably the new Xbox will be out in 2019, and then 2 years after, 2 years into that, we'll get a Halo. So.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, I guess we can maybe before we get the hell out of here. Question: did you hear about the Sony room with the PlayStation 5 digital? Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't heard about it. I
heard it before, but
I saw that you did a video.
Yeah. Well, it's like well, anyway, the site was talking that that I forgot the guy's name from Sony. This is not degenerate either, and he was saying that he didn't know if the PlayStation 5 will be a physical actual console. I remember I did a video about that, and fucking Sony fans lost their fucking mind. And the guy went to break down in an article, basically was saying that Steam has showed them, that you don't need a disk drive to be successful. Steam, there's about 80 million users or something. How would you feel about that? If you buy a console that's a digital-only console, how would you feel about that? Because being honest,
I wouldn't buy
Sony. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Sony. I mean, just being real. Even with Microsoft, Sony has they bought Gaikai, whatever the case may be. Nothing stops them from putting PS4 games and that you stream them to your TV or whatever. Nothing. You know what I mean? Because you can. I don't need a PlayStation 3 now to play God of War 3 on my TV, on my Samsung 4K TV or whatever the case may be. You understand what I'm saying? So there's nothing stopping them from streaming them. With PS4 games. Would you have a problem with that? Having to buy a digital-only console.
I mean,
I would.
I mean, we know crap doesn't want anything to do with it. I mean, I guess I'd have to see. There's a couple other people that come into play. First of all, for me, it would be how's Time Warner going to deal with this? How does or Comcast or Verizon, whoever you happen to be with for your internet provider? If we're at the point where that's okay, sure. I guess I'm interested to hear about it. But here's the thing, Z. Just 2 years ago, everybody shit their pants when Microsoft didn't even say DRM. They just said something like, they didn't even talk about it. They talked about something completely different, but they were but it was hinted. They were hinting at that, and people freaked out. Now all of a sudden, everyone okay with that. Sony fans were fucking lighting a match, stomping their feet. Oh, we don't want that shit. Get that out of here. I want Yoshida and Fatboy Boys to exchange games in front of me.
Ellen DeGeneres for Halloween, I heard.
Yeah. That motherfucker do got to chill like a lesbian, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but
what about you? I mean,
here's the thing. You want to go? You know me. I don't have a problem with the. No, well, I do. I don't want my hobby to die. I don't want to be forced to play games on PC, or I like going out. It's exciting to me. Something that listen, this is not even me. Like I said, that's why I off my bucket list. I've told you guys before. I told you guys I used to have a little bullshit ass game store, a little mom and pop store back in the day, and that was always like, have me a game store, whatever the case. But that feeling has never left of me going out and getting a new console. Me standing in the line, I get cold as hell. Like I'm excited, my new console's coming out, and I don't want that feeling to ever leave. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like going out and getting new consoles. That's exciting. I don't the fact that from now on, the games will be sold digitally and you can stream them, and I don't know, man. Give me the option. Then you can do the digital thing, like day one. You can like you're doing now. But I just like I like new. I don't want, because think about it, if they do that digital only console, there's no reason to get a PlayStation 6. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever game you can just stream them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that to go away. So I hope not. I hope this is not the direction that they're taking, or whoever's.
I think you're gonna see. Listen, here's the thing. I'm gonna agree with Crap here. Regardless of my personal opinion, let's talk about company-wide. If you're talking about company-wide, if Microsoft comes out with a box for, let's just call it Xbox 2, if they come out with a box that still takes physical disc and Sony doesn't, Sony's dead. Sony will immediately die. It doesn't matter how great this generation was for them. You've got a lot of Sony fans, or you could tell they're just a younger group. They don't have that kind of money. They don't really have the access to make a decision on their internet-based this and that. You know what I mean? They don't got that kind of money to make that kind of decision in the house. So literally, they'll lose. They'll lose their shirt. So I don't think. Here's the thing. Depending on what Nintendo comes out with next year, the year after, with that,
next year.
What I mean, the NX. Depending on what they come out with and how the public handles it, that may decide how close we are to an all-digital world.
But listen, according to rumors, like I said before, it didn't make any sense, but it's more powerful than anything that's on the market. It can run. You said this is the demo that they gave them something. This is what they said. The demo that came with the software that came with the NX. And they were able to run it at 60 frames a second. And they said nothing on the market that's out today can run that, with all those polygons, whatever, at 60 frames a second. So it's supposed to be, a pretty up-to-do console. Now, here's what, like I said before, that kind of puts the pressure on Microsoft and Sony, because here it is, you have Nintendo, especially they get third-party support, forget about it, and they're able, at minimum, to run every game at 1080p, quote-unquote, locked at 60 frames a second. That was, because this whole, whether you like Nintendo or not, this whole generation has been about frames and fucking, in resolution. That would be, maybe Nintendo can come in and steal a slice of the pie. That's, then you had the other article from the other Sony guy that said that Sony was looking to maybe putting out a more beefier PS4. It's x86 can play the same game. How many times is Nintendo going to put out the goddamn 3DS? You get a new 3DS every goddamn year. They can play the same games. Maybe run them at a higher resolution. That from what I've read, it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want to buy more powerful Xbox One?
Well,
that can play games, every game at 1080p, 60 frames a second, whatever the case may be.
Oh, listen, they go ahead, Crap. Go ahead.
I wouldn't. I'm content with what I have, so I'm gonna ride out the generation.
Well, when you say that, do you mean currently, or do you mean in the next 3 years?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if they come out with something, say an Xbox One hybrid or whatever, they can play. Listen, you're not alienating your previous. It's gonna play the same games. It's just that you have an option to run these games at 1080p, 60 frames a second. You have a setting in there. You run them at 1080p, 60 frames a second, maybe 4K. Whatever the case may be.
Here's the way I look at it, Z. Taking it out of the hypothetical realm and bringing it into reality, if that's going to happen, first of all, Sony's going to have to introduce it if it's this gen. Because Sony's got the major install base right now. So with the majority install base, if Sony gets away with it, all Microsoft has to do is say, execute that shit. Let's do it. Because they already got it ready to rock and roll. The point of the matter is Microsoft can't really come out right now after a 180, recouping, new UI, new this, new that. Everything's just getting hunky-dory. Their sales are going up. Be like, hey, and now we got this one.
They're two versions. Shit, think about it. You can have the one, the casual one, and have the one with all the bells and whistles, about $600.
Z, unfortunately, you know what I picked as my icon for the fucking PS4? I picked a lemming. It's the fucking world official lemming. Okay? I'm not even kidding you, man.
The Mooch at his best. The Mooch.
These mofos right now, everybody on PlayStation, they walk right into a blazing pit of fire, man. They have no idea. Follow Yoshida's big baggy-ass pants that don't fit them right into that shit. They don't understand. Like, he literally, they have to be the first ones. Now, Would it be amazing? Yes, because think about it. Everything's x86 architecture.
Yep.
So with everything being that way, you don't lose shit. All you're gonna, like you said, newer games that come out would be able to up-res. But the thing is, though, Z, in order for the people that have the existing consoles, there's a little bit more to it than just the up-res ability. Yeah, the people of the new console would be able to easily play the old ones. Yeah. But it would still be weird. It'd be a little bit harder to program. It's a logistics nightmare, kind of. So I don't know if necessarily here's what I said. When Sony made the comment, we may come out with a console that's a little bit stronger than this one, they're talking about the PS5. They're not talking about the PS4.5. That's not going to happen. So all I can't wait for is when Sony does make that move, that just means we're that much closer to next generation already. And I know Crap doesn't like to hear that. I know Crap, and I don't get me wrong, your opinion is much respected, and you've made some very valid points, not just in your videos, but on BGST. You've made some really good points. But realistically, by 2019, we're all playing new consoles.
Yeah,
we're done with these.
Yeah,
and it'll probably be disc too, Z. It'll probably be a physical machine with discs.
That you know what? I don't want that to go away. Whatever the case may be.
We're not there yet.
I don't want to stream my games. You know what I mean? Or maybe even download them digitally. That's a little different. I don't want to stream my games. I want to be able to have new hardware. You know what I mean? Streaming, I don't want to ever see a console stream. I don't want that. Downloading them digitally, I don't have a problem with it. I don't.
I can't stream, man. I get that Netflix issue.
No, not stream. I said not stream. That to download them digitally. You get a bit. I should have cleared it up. I don't have a problem with the console being digital, as long as I can download the games to the fucking console. I don't want to stream anything.
Like EA Access. EA Access, right?
I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want to stream anything, because if streaming, I mean, I don't have to get a new PlayStation 6, because what stops me, I can just stream whatever game, whatever, because it's not really running off the hardware, it's running off the servers some goddamn where. I don't want that, no, that's bullshit.
I think Sony has to plan for a PS6 or 5 or whatever it is, just because Microsoft came out and said.
What do you mean?
I think Sony at least has to, they have to at least be thinking that. Because Microsoft has already come out and said, yeah, we're going to be doing another console.
And they said it on multiple occasions.
Probably. I mean, what wouldn't they be thinking? And I should hope so. This was keeping their lights on right now. They said all their company's focus is on the PlayStation division. This is what's paying the bills. And I hope they're not content with one goddamn, one like this. That'd be stupid. You know how it goes normally is once one console is out, they start, what's going to be, just consoles already done. What we're going to be doing for the next generation or whatever the case may be. I hope they're not sitting around sitting on their hands and get caught. Like Microsoft get caught with their pants down, you know what I mean? Reason, and again, I'm going to say before we get the hell out of it, the Kinect kind of doomed Microsoft because it was so successful, you know what I mean? And it extended the generation from another year and a half, 2 years. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of things that Microsoft wanted to do with the Windows 10, DX12, none of that shit in place yet, you know what I mean? Could you imagine if all those things had been in place by the console, by the time the console launched? You know what I mean? You had games coming out at 720p, with and it was a fucking shitstorm. I take my hand off to Microsoft. They fought through it, and but goddamn, like Microsoft really had an upward fucking hill to climb, man. All the shit they went through, man.
I mean, shout out to Jamie Moran. He just made a comment that made a lot of sense. He basically said, "We're real," and I agree with him. This is where I'm at, and I went out day one and bought a Wii U for my son. Mm-hmm. He don't touch that Wii U, man. He's on 360 or the One, and to be honest with you, I will not. Even if I'm blown away by it, I'm not going to buy the NX for the family because I'm not saying I'm not going to buy it ever. I just said I'm not going to buy it day one because we're too invested right now into your Xbox One, your PlayStation 4, or both. Okay, who's got room? So who gives a shit if Call of Duty, whatever the next one's going to be, even if it's World at War, even if that comes out next year on the NX. Are you going to be like, oh, no, I'm dropping all my Xbox and my PlayStation friends. I'm going to go get it on the Nintendo? So the fact Nintendo's a little too late. They needed to start this generation on the right foot. And I think they should just deal with what they got. I think them releasing this console is still going to make them inept and, like you say, anemic for next generation. So when the Xbox 2 and the PS5 come out, the NX is going to be behind again.
Well, here's the thing. Now, I hope. Well, not I hope. We'll see. I hope they don't do the same. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I kind of differ from you guys. I gave Nintendo more benefit of the doubt because they've been in business for 100 years. They can't go out there and make the same mistake again like they did with the Wii U. You know what I mean? Unless Microsoft and Sony are not going to put again another generation without top of the line shit again. There's going to be some like these consoles are anemic. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it's being real. 1080p and that's an old 60 frames. How long? They've been doing this. It's nothing new. That's an old format. 10 years now. You know what I mean? These consoles still are not locking that down. But it is what it is, man. Before we get the hell up out of here, I'd like to give another birthday shout out to Robert Bellew. He's a big fan of the show, watches the show every week. Shout out to you. Anything else you guys want to say?
No, man. I think
no.
If you don't have Halo 5, go get Halo 5. Support Microsoft. They put
Amazing.
a ton of cash into that. It's a great game. If you don't have the Elite controller, you can order it right now, and it's be there by November 30th. They're saying right now. It's not out of reach. It's out of stock, but it's not out of reach. And all NXE people, there is an update waiting for you tonight. If you didn't get last night's, you have 2 updates. So just a heads up.
And you can use YouTube again.
And listen, crap. Did you tell your members down at the KKK down in Florida? I'm going to enlist. I want to enlist. Let me know if your chapters are setting, the black fellows. I'm going to come down there and enlist in the KKK. Thank you guys.
I'm hoping to be a Grand Wizard.
Yeah, the Grand Wizard. White power. This is your boy, 20, man. Thank you guys, man, for rocking out with us and all. Stay away from weirdos and haters, man. Stay away from weirdos and haters, man. But those that hate just to hate, they hate us because they ain't us. We out of here, man. Thank you guys for rocking out.
Yeah, they do.
Bang.